If you Google team building activities for corporate events, what you'll get is a lot of raw things, or you're gonna go bowling together, or ideas for happy hours, or things like that. And luckily, you've landed on this video where I'm gonna share 4 different exercises. The first one is gonna be a really easy win that everybody will love and you can do really quickly. The second idea is a really cutting edge, fun idea that I recently led with Carnegie Mellon University, and 400 PhDs really turned up for this and involves some really cool AI that is accessible to everybody. The third one is a really deep exercise, or deeply impactful exercise, in the sense that this exercise I have actually seen influence and increase retention rates. And so I'm excited to share that one with you. And last but not least, for the fourth activity, I will actually show you how I set up one of my absolute favorite activities with live on stage with 3,000 executives, CEOs, and senior executives of credit unions all around the country. And so you actually get to see how I set up this exercise. I call it more of an experiment, and seeing it happen in the moment will be really useful to you. Your time is really precious. My name's Chad Littlefield. I actually get to do this for a living with some of the coolest, smartest organizations on the planet, ranging from Crayola to Starbucks to major airlines to the CIA. And so in this video, I'm gonna share not only these 4 exercises, but drip in some ideas and tips on how you can guarantee that they work really well to actually build your team at whatever context or event you're hosting. First one, easy win, rock, paper, scissors Olympics. The Olympics, as the time this video is publishing, the Olympics are around the corner. This is such a simple exercise that at first, when I learned it, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that in a corporate environment, I don't know. And then I did it, and then I saw other people do it, and then I saw tens of thousands of people do it over the course of years, and it just works every time. It's like easy win, guaranteed to bring a whole heap of joy and a lasting memory to a group. And it happens pretty quickly. You can almost use it in the middle of a day or an outing or a retreat or something as a re-energizer. And really simply, it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Right? Scissors, paper. I'm not going to teach you rock, paper, scissors. The mechanics of the Olympics part is that you have everybody face off. So you get a partner, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. The loser of that battle then joins the team of the other person. And so if I win once, then I've got somebody else who stands behind me and becomes my cheering squad. And so they follow me around to the next matchup of the other winner, who has a team following them around, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And if that person has a person behind them, if I win, both of them join me. And so what ends up happening in the span of literally no more than 7 minutes is a group of up to hundreds or thousands of people, and even as small as 30 people, end up with one matchup, and a team on this side and a team on this side cheering for their colleagues. And so it gets down to the last matchup, and you do a best out of 3. I would play best out of 3 in general. Play a best out of 3. And it just creates this like huge element and hype, and the joy and like the pictures that you will get. I can just tell you in advance that whether you've got a group of engineers who hate noise and just want to be in their own area working, or you've got a group of sales leaders at a sales kickoff, the faces that people will make are just pure presence, engaged. It just creates a lasting memory. The other benefit of this is that any type of team building thing that you lead anywhere in a corporation, you're gonna have people that are like this. And so my job, I call myself a professional arms uncrosser. What I like about this exercise is it's quick. So it's like offers a quick, easy high, but for the people that don't like it, which is it's like in a corporation, there's always gonna be somebody that doesn't like whatever's happening. Doesn't matter what you're doing, anything. You could be giving out free money and somebody's like, I don't agree with this. And so it's quick, so the people that don't like it don't need to be in it for 6 hours. Whereas if you decide as a group to go bowling and everybody's encouraged to go, you got somebody who's stuck there 3 hours doing something they hate. That's not an ideal form of team building. In fact, I would say, I think the most effective method that supersedes all 4 of these exercises of doing team building is connection before content, weaving in connection before content throughout your meetings, throughout the daily run of business. Because when you have a culture where people connect meaningfully and on purpose for 5 minutes at the beginning of a meeting, that is a much more sustainable way to build and connect as a team, as opposed to let's all go do an offsite for an entire day. It would be like saying I want to lose 25 pounds, so I'm going to go to the gym for 12 hours. It's not gonna work, you're gonna hurt yourself, and you're certain as heck never gonna go back. But if you just go on a walk every once in a while you sub out a salad for a hamburger, it turns out it's a sustainable way to be healthy. Same is true for team building. If you wanna build a team sustainably over time, weaving in that connection before content. There's a performance group called the Blue Man Group, if you've ever seen them. They don't say anything, they're all painted blue, they do these crazy drum painting things, super entertaining, but they also kind of weave in some bits of meaning. And I was in Boston watching a Blue Man Group show once, and they put up this beautiful quote that I'm gonna butcher here, but the quote essentially was, if you want to really connect and build a team, build something together, create something together. And so the second exercise, I think of it as a collaborative book writing project. So if you say to, which I did at Carnegie Mellon University a couple months ago, if you say to 400, so it was the 400 top leaders at CMU, and I said, the amount of intelligence in this room is absurd. I've designed an exercise in 30 minutes, we're all gonna co-write a book, pulling all of that collective knowledge together around the culture of CMU. And then while you're on lunch, I'm gonna go into a dark room and plug your responses through ChatGPT, and we're gonna come back and actually read you some pieces of that book that we write. The group was all about this. Now granted, CMU is an AI-leaning school, and so I was kind of feeding into their purpose and culture overall, but they were all really into this idea that as 400 people, even though we're in all different departments, we're in all different silos, we're all creating one single output, one single thing. And that's a phenomenal way to build a team because you can reflect on this thing that you created. And so Blue Man Group said, you know, I don't care if you make dinner together or you dance together or something, like making something together connects people. So let me actually pull up a couple of the prompts that I used there. So I had everybody scan a QR code, and this takes a little bit of prep to create, but I had everybody scan a QR code that goes to a form where they plug in a bunch of answers to questions. Some of the questions were, what is one thing you really appreciate about the culture of Carnegie Mellon? Related to building culture as a leader, what is one genius piece of advice you received? And to paint the shadow, what is one culture-related issue that keeps you up at night in one word or a short phrase? So I collected 400 responses to this, and then I took all that data and fed it into ChatGPT through a series of prompts. And so the prompts were things like, and I just tested out a bunch of them to see what output would be most meaningful. The prompts were things like, using the data I've just entered, write a letter to all future leaders of CMU, incorporating the wisdom and insights gleaned from current leaders' survey responses. Address the cultural strengths to be cherished, the challenges to be overcome, the best pieces of advice on building culture, etc. I didn't know what was going to come out of this, but the VP who hired me to lead this leadership summit, actually I invited him to read the letter that came out, the output that came out. He actually teared up on stage. It created both oohs, ahs, and a massive ovation after, not standing, but it was an ovation, after he read it. Team building. You've all come together, and what you've done is reflectively listened and seen, heard, and understood 400 people all at once using a little bit of technology to help. The novelty of AI also helps make that interesting as well. As I jump into number 3, I do this for a living, so if you would like somebody to help lead something like that at your next big annual event, you could contact me. And that one sentence funded this video. Activity number 3, as promised, this is something that has the power to create some really deeply impactful moments for people. And I think about it, and I call the exercise appreciation versus affirmation. And so I'd think about doing this exercise at the end of whatever gathering you're doing. So if you've been together for 2-day offsite or something like that, or you're at a strategy meeting, this would be a phenomenal exercise to close out your time together and end on a really high note that also builds and kind of solidifies that whatever bond connection was made over the time you were together. And this is just the distinction between appreciation and affirmation. Appreciation is acknowledging someone for what they do. Hey Joe, thanks for sweeping the floors. Affirmation goes much deeper. Affirmation acknowledges someone for who they are. So hey Joe, thanks for your attention to detail that keeps this place clean. And as leaders in a corporation, sometimes we don't even say thank you or acknowledge people at all. And so appreciation is a nice place to start, but appreciation is fleeting. Hey, thanks for all your hard work. If I hear another leader say, hey everybody, thanks for all your hard work this week. Hey everybody, thanks for all your hard work this year. It drives me nuts because it's almost meaningless. What a leader's saying in that moment is, I know you worked hard, expect you to do it again. You did stuff, thanks for all your hard work. An affirmation, acknowledging someone for who they are, that lasts with people for 10 years. If a boss offers an affirmation or a colleague offers an affirmation, it will not be quickly forgotten. It's also reinforcing a part of who somebody is, which invites people to show up at work. And so the exercise, really simply, is as you wrap up, say, instead of what we usually do, which is clap, 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 logistics, and we all get on our flights or leave, your ticket out of here is pair up with 3 people who you've connected with over the last couple days, stand in front of them and offer them an affirmation of who they are, who they were this last week. And the catch is, if you're receiving an affirmation, you can only respond in one of 3 ways. Number 1, thank you. Number 2, thank you, I really liked hearing that. Can you tell me more? And the reason I give people this is when we receive an affirmation, the human nature is to take that and then dish it back on somebody. To be like, oh, no, this old thing, I got it at Goodwill. And so we downplay that compliment, or we mirror it back and say, oh, like, I like your earrings. Like, but your shirt is just amazing, right? Is that from Goodwill? Right? Whatever that dynamic is. And so the invite is, thank you, I like hearing that, can you tell me more? Or thank you, I like hearing that, can you write that down in a letter and send it to my boss? Would be the alternative. If you do that exercise, you invite people to pair up one-on-one as they're closing, just kind of as the unofficial end, and offer affirmations to 3 different people as their ticket out of here. Everybody will receive an affirmation and everybody will give affirmations. And it just is a way to end on this really thoughtful, meaningful high note that oftentimes we don't dip into in corporate culture. Oftentimes we stay at the what we do level and we don't acknowledge people for who they are. And so just by doing this, we'll create a really standout moment in someone's career, not just someone's day. Activity number 4, I promised that I would actually just show me facilitating this with 3,000 executives and watching how it works. It's one of my favorite connection experiments. It's phenomenal at building teams, whether you're an intact team or you're all gathering from multiple different sites. And you can click this video titled, "This is how you open a keynote speech." And you can actually just watch the first 5 minutes of me walking out on stage and framing up this experiment to a group of 3,000 people. In that video, you'll see and learn how I uncross people's arms and get them excited to engage and build connections with each other, as opposed to another corporate thing I gotta go to. I'm Chad Littlefield. There's links in the description if you want to learn more and connect. Have an awesome day.